Welcome back to the Bloomington Breakfast Club. We are so happy to have you join us every Monday morning for all the latest on all things Bloomington. I'm Gabrielle Valenson.
And I'm Juliana Mary. Today we are reporting from Lights on the Lawn. Afrojack is performing tonight. They're getting ready right now. We are so excited to be here.
And even better, the proceeds will go to the Boys and Girls Club of Bloomington. Stay tuned, Hoosiers. It's going to be a great show. So we got to do a couple of unnecessary updates. Juliana, what do you have for us?
So Snapchat was struggling a little bit. Their stock was going down, but we just got news that they're going to start Snapchat shows, which will be 5-minute shows that they'll feature on Snapchat, and they're going to be originals. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
And you know, when stories first came out, everyone didn't really know what was going on, and you know, they were hating on it. But now it's one of the most popular things to do on social media. Yeah. So we'll see.
I still love Snapchat. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully it works out.
Yeah, and then on another note, Selena Gomez, she has been, there have been reports that she is in rehab now for her anxiety and depression. Our hearts go out to her, you know?
Yes, yeah, and with Mental Health Awareness Day this past month, it's just, you know, it's something that's so important right now, and our hearts go out to her.
We are now joined with Ryan Stern, one of the co-chairs of Lights on the Lawn. Hi.
Hi.
We're so happy that you are here. We got to go to the concert last week, so we wanted to return the favor and have you on our show.
Yes, welcome to the studio. So glad to have you.
Thank you guys very much for having me. I'm pumped to be here.
Thank you. So let's start with Lights on the Lawn. Tell us more about that organization.
Yeah, sure. So Lights on the Lawn is a student-run benefit concert that started 7 years ago at Vanderbilt University by a good friend of mine named Teddy Raskin. So Teddy was a junior at Vanderbilt at the time when his good friend got into a boating accident, and they needed about $90,000 to raise so that their friend could purchase a rehab machine in order to help with the injuries. And so they got all the fraternities together, and they got the backing of the Interfraternity Council at Vanderbilt, and they decided to do a student-run benefit concert. And so that first year, this was about 7 years ago, they raised $96,000, which was more than they needed. And after the show, they realized they had so much support from the student body and the local Nashville community that they decided to make it an annual thing. So for the past 7 years, or I guess past 6 years after that first show, they've been donating the money to the Mary Parrish Center, which is a support center for women who have been sexually or domestically abused in Nashville. And they've raised more than $500,000 through doing charity concerts. They've had the Chainsmokers. Last year they had Louis the Child. This year they had Diplo. So it's been an ongoing thing, and they're really raising a ton of money, which is awesome.
That's great.
So I kind of brought Lights on the Lawn here to Indiana after getting to know Teddy and doing some normal concerts through the fraternity. Those were kind of like test shows.
Right.
We got to know how the system works, and then eventually we were able to bring the actual Lights on the Lawn last week here, which was awesome.
That is so awesome. And going with that, why did you want to bring Lights on the Lawn to IU?
Yeah, so I think that it's really perfect. It's a perfect opportunity for a college town because you have students that are interested in going to concerts and that are interested in music. And also interested in benefiting the community. And especially here in Bloomington, we unfortunately have a really high poverty rate. So it's kind of the perfect opportunity to, I guess, bridge the gap between the student body and the local needs of the community. And doing that through music is a perfect way to do that. Students love going to concerts. So we felt it was a perfect opportunity to do that.
That's great. And so you were running around like crazy at the show. I mean, you were so busy. What were some of the challenges that you had when you were
Yeah, so I think one of the biggest challenges was just the fact that we had to figure out who could support this. Like, how could we do a show? Where would it take place? Who would be there for security? There's a million different things that need to happen, and I guess those first phone calls or that first initial research into trying to find like a venue or trying to find who from the community or city can kind of back this was definitely a tough bridge to kind of cross, but we really just reached out to the city of Bloomington. They gave us their full support. The police department was great. The captain was fully supportive. Everyone really kind of rallied around the idea that it was a charity concert, and that's actually how we found the Boys and Girls Club of Bloomington. We didn't know who we were going to donate to, and everyone from the community recommended that we donate to the Boys and Girls Club, so we figured it was the perfect charity to donate to. So yeah, I would say just, finding where to host this and who can support it was definitely, those first steps were the hardest for sure.
But you made it happen.
Yes.
So there you go.
Without a hitch.
Thank you, yeah.
So despite all the challenges, what were the highlights of the event from your perspective?
I would say, I think just having 2 world-class DJs in the Bloomington area is pretty incredible. I mean, usually artists like that don't play at college towns, and so I thought that was amazing. And then, obviously, the money raised was also incredible. We actually have a donation site that's still raising money, so we're not 100% set on how much we've raised, but in the next few weeks, we're going to continue to try to raise as much as possible through the donation site. So I would say, having big DJs and raising money for the community in need.
Right.
Going into the next question, so roughly how much have you guys raised for the Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah, so right now through the donation site, we're at almost about $12,000. But I know that we have a lot more coming in the next couple weeks through different donations for people that we've reached out to. So we'll know in a couple weeks once we kind of finalize the site, but we're hoping that it'll be around $25,000.
Wow.
Once we finish up with those donations.
Wow, that is incredible. And you said that all the donations are going to the Boys and Girls Club of Bloomington. So can you tell us a little bit about what they do, why it's such an important cause to support?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Boys and Girls Club's a national organization, but here in the Bloomington community, the Bloomington specific one is really kind of prominent. A lot of people know about them because poverty is a big issue here. So what the Boys and Girls Club Bloomington does is they essentially empower youth. So they do like daycare, after school. One of the facilities actually feeds kids on the weekends because a lot of kids have issues getting food on the weekends. But essentially they're doing activities for the kids and providing support for kids that not only are impoverished, but also kids that, struggle with, they don't have a strong family behind them, or they weren't, raised with 2 parents at home that were fully supportive of them. So they do things like activities like basketball, they do science classes, they started a chess club, they have a whole library in one of their locations for students to read, or kids to read. So it's an incredible organization. We got to meet the executive director, and he gave us a tour of one of the locations, which was awesome.
That's awesome.
That's great. And why do you think it's important for Greek life to be involved in philanthropy and give back?
Yeah, definitely. So this is actually kind of an open to public event. That's one of the goals for us, and I think that there's obviously a lot of philanthropies that happen through Greek life and not through Greek life on campus, but I think a lot of those are kind of focused on national organizations.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of students, like I mentioned before, don't realize that here in our own backyard there's a big need in our community. And so I think it's important that we kind of educate the student body that, hey, there's people right near us that have a lot of need, and so this is a perfect opportunity to start raising money for them and also educate the student body and encourage students to learn about the Boys and Girls Club and also raise money by attending a concert. So
The best of both worlds.
Yeah,
exactly.
Definitely. And I know that you are graduating, but looking forward, do you plan to continue being involved in Lights on the Lawn? How is that going to work?
Yeah, definitely. So my goal is just kind of stay involved, help run the process, I guess, for more of the back end, higher level for next year. The other co-chair, who unfortunately wasn't able to make it today, his name's Austin. He'll be a senior next year, so he'll kind of take over the ropes from there. And then I'll kind of work with Teddy to do more of the higher level things like hiring the artists, dealing with production like sound, audio for the concert, kind of continue the relationship with the charity, stuff like that. And then we're also actually, Lights on the Lawn's hoping to expand as well. So they're going to Tulane next spring.
Oh, wow.
So I'm hoping to kind of get involved in that and help out, I guess, mentor any of the kids there that are looking to bring Lights on the Lawn to their schools.
That is awesome. I cannot wait to see all the amazing things that you guys do.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being on today.
Of course. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you so much for watching every Monday morning. Be sure to follow us on all social media at B-Town B-Fast Club and use the hashtag B-Town B-Fast.
We will see you next week, Hoosiers.